I would like to call to order the Board of Trustees meeting for June 18th, 2019, despite the fact that something here says 18. Will you please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome everyone. At this point, I would ask you to make sure that your cell phones are turned off or on silent. May I have a roll call, please?
Trustee Chamberlain. Here. Trustee Clayton.
Here.
Trustee Goldstein. Trustee Haber.
Here.
Trustee Hollander.
Here.
Trustee Jamerson.
Here.
President Norris.
Here. We have a quorum. First item of business is approval of minutes. The clerk had asked me to put on the minutes for the two executive sessions, but I do not have copies of those minutes. Rob, did she leave any with you?
No.
Okay, then we will simply have to hold those two over. So I need a motion for approval of the Board of Trustees minutes from June 4th, 2019.
So moved.
Second.
Are there any further additions? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the minutes signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes are approved. Next item of business, village ecologist is not here this evening. Treasurer's report.
All right, the funds available had a slight increase from April to May of about $71,000, which again leaves out any of the SSA funds. Not an exciting month or two in the markets or anything else. The parameters of which we constantly look at our portfolio would be the treasury yields, and right now it's actually an inverted curve. So at the 1 year rate, you're talking about 2.2%, and if you go out 10 years, where you used to be rewarded, it's now 2.09%. So the duration of our investments is actually benefiting from that inverse curve, and our overall rate, calculated by Danielle and her team, is a 2.49% yield to maturity. We did have, fortunately, we had put in significant funds, and we had some maturities back when we were able to garner 3% on a lot of that money. And if you look, I'll tell you, because I'm not sure if everybody has it, but I'll make it available if you want. The laddering is really starting to come into effect. You can look at the maturities and see something almost every month for the next 2 or 3 years. From what I have both been aware of and had conversation with Danielle, right now they're expecting the Fed to maybe hold rates steady. The optimists think they might lower it, especially if tariff deals work out with China, which today was a big pop in the market because of that. But I think the Fed has kind of backed off, so our maturities right now will probably be reinvested at about a 2.25% rate. We have 245,000 coming due in June. Some of it has already, and we've spoken and reinvested that at 2.25. Next year we'll have quite a bit of the portfolio actually coming due month by month, so we'll hope for a bump in rates that gets back to 3 or so on that. The current yield of interest that we can expect on our portfolio right now, for the budgeting purposes, I had submitted something like 225, 230, but it's actually going to be closer to 300,000 in the total interest we should earn this year on the portfolio. The ratings of the securities, the various investments is primarily at the A level and double A. The lowest we have is B double A, nothing lower than that on these maturities, and the collateralization is all in place with JP Morgan as we go along. And I think everything that we wanted to put in and invest is currently invested, and the cash flow is being monitored between the investment account and the operating account. So I think the pieces we wanted to put in place about 4 or 5 months ago are kind of in place now. And I think that's it.
Any questions for that? Thank you. Engineers report?
This morning, Rob and I had our community rating system audit every 5 years or so. It's actually been since 2012. We sit down with the people from the insurance services office, and we go through all of it's a little bit tedious putting together all the paperwork, but it's really documenting the things that we do every day for floodplain management, stormwater management. The upshot being that as you accumulate points for various activities, the village can move through the tiers of the CRS. Right now we're a class 8, which everybody gets discount on the flood. She's got to send away to NASA to do the calculations, but she thought that particularly when we adopt the most current building codes, we'll be able to get to a 7 rating, another 5% for a total of 15 off of the flood insurance premiums for the village. So there's still more paperwork to be emailed back and forth, and we need to adopt the current codes with the signs and passing.
Any questions for Pat? Okay, Director of Services.
288 Blackburn is announced. The increases right now, this is the private receiver due to all the code violations. The receiver maintained control for a while, and the bank got it back. The bank's contractor, demolition. Also, for the village hall, got a bid from Carrie Electric to do some work here, miscellaneous work, auto door openers, handicap door openers for the front door, and then public washrooms. Some work there, replacing light switches with motion detector switches. Flagpole lights, adjust some of that, time clock related to that. The rear, say the sconces on the west side of the building, kind of expect the neighbors drive a little bit more, tone those down, and some more occupancy sensors adjustment. So we're about 2 weeks out roughly. Carrie Electric to do the work. I think we're done with some schools right now, a school. So that's the gist of the work that will occur.
If I can tack on that, maybe you should put those.
Well, we won't say we got the fix.
I can get mine fixed. Oh, there it goes. Yeah. If I can just tack on for a second. A lot of this is little cleanup stuff, and when we finished the building, we found a few things that we weren't really happy with, like motion sensor switches or just regular switches, like we're saying. The flagpole light is in response to the neighbor to the west of us. We're going to take that off of the parking lot lights, and parking lot lights will be going off earlier in the evening, and the flagpole will stay on, so we don't have to take the flag area. And then the door openers, the handicap door openers, we attempted to use some battery operated ones that regenerate the batteries as they open and close. Unfortunately, we don't have enough opening and closing of doors in this building to regenerate the batteries. So we thought that might be a problem, so we ordered door openers that also have the ability to be AC powered. So those are, they're going to be putting outlets in for all three of those door openers. So it will now work. And actually, the price came in much less than I thought it was going to, so that's a plus all around. And Carrie's the one that did the original work, so.
Anything else, Rob?
Blackboard Connect message went out a few days ago in relationship to North Shore Gas. They will be testing a number of properties where there are hundreds, Thorngate being the prime areas in regard to their gas lines that went in the 90s. They're going to test to make sure that they didn't destroy compromising sewer, sanitary, or storm sewer. So that was the message that went out. They would probably need to get televised cameras, televise the sewer lines, see what was hit, what was not, and they would assume the responsibility for any repairs that happened during the time.
Any questions for Rob?
When did the message go out? I don't recall getting that message, and I'm fairly certain I'm not.
That was several days ago.
Yeah, it's like Thursday or Friday, I think.
Okay.
I know I got it. We can check the list, but.
I'll go back through Blackboard Connect and make sure that I'm registered.
And let me also note that you all have working microphones, which is also due to Rob staying after the microphone companies. The batteries failed because when they showed us how to use these, they told us to plug them in, and they didn't tell us to not leave them plugged in. We left them plugged in all the time, so apparently they became overcharged. The new batteries used to become overcharged. So now we've been instructed to not leave them plugged in for more than 4 hours at a time and make sure we discharge them completely. So it'd be a little bit of a nuisance, but they gave us new batteries for free. My understanding is they will charge us for labor when we were outside the warranty period. So I think it's probably about as good as you can hope for. Second, if you look at the bottom of one of these things, I'm not sure you've been able to get in there and open it up to put it in anyway. But at least we should have microphones that are working.
Right, today, like you do say.
You admitted yourself that you probably didn't have the right type of screwdrivers to fit whatever's on the bottom of these things. Okay, no zoning board of appeals report, plan commission.
I'll let Bruce go. I was absent to the last meeting, so go ahead, Bruce.
Chair was absent, we had a great time.
All right, we had a great time. We did not discuss the hand car wash at 777 Saunders because we didn't have the materials that we requested. We did discuss the text amendment that's before the board tonight, and there was a unanimous recommendation to approve it. We passed out the most recent version of the comprehensive plan, and everyone thought it was really good in your final, just some last commentary once providing their last edits. And I think at the next plan commission meeting, we'll be able to vote to recommend what we've done to the board.
Which, by the way, will be July 11th, because obviously we're not going to do it on the 4th. So we're moving into the 11th.
I thought we were all going to be your house watching fireworks and.
You can come. We're not going to have a meeting, but you're more than welcome to come.
It certainly sounds like it from my bedroom on the 4th of July, like people were shooting things off everywhere. Are there any questions from the plan commission? Police report?
So I have no report other than police activity that is in the.
Are there any questions from the chief? Okay. Village attorney's report. Okay, information, comments from the president. First of all, the first change of the year is that the new committee assignments that you got passed out, the standing committees will remain the same, but under the ad hoc committees, there'll be a change to the branding and education committee. I thought we had a couple of people on there that apparently were visitors. So those will be removed. Other than they should all be there and pass those on, and all of you seem to be comfortable with where we end up right now.
Yes.
Who's the Swallow? There's nothing there.
Okay, the Swalco is still, we have a problem because I've been doing it so long, I'm involved with the executive committee in any number of positions that are only me, if we had another representative, they wouldn't fit them. I do need to have an alternate for that aware resolution. Mike Clayton and I have talked about that. I need to talk with him a little bit more. Unless, of course, you'd like to volunteer, but I didn't think so. But yes, we do need to have somebody else, as I say, since I will be moving on in about 2 years or so anyway. We should have an alternate to have somebody who can attend. Okay, second item on the agenda, surviving mosquitoes, water, and invasive, should be an S on invasive, sorry about that. That's a presentation that's going to happen here at the Village Hall Thursday night at 7:30. And it's more than a presentation, it's also something of a social event. There will be refreshments served as well. So, again, I would encourage everybody, if you have the time on Thursday, to come by. You'll learn something about our problems with mosquitoes, how to try to combat them. Somebody from Clark and the Southeast Lake County Mosquito Abatement District, one of those items on your property tax bill, will be here to talk about mosquitoes. Water, obviously, is a problem here for all of us. Some places are a little better than others, but those of us lucky enough to live in Thorngate have that pretty well engineered. But even then, it's all tied together, so we need to work on it. And invasive plants, again, we all have a problem. So come have a good time, and it will be a lot more fun than the title might lead you to believe. You'll learn something, and it hopefully won't be too painful. Third item is we have now received, again, the notice of state award for the Osland grant. I forwarded that to each of the members, as well as an explanation. Some of the items that were on the DOC4 needed to be what we've been talking about. For example, the fire pit is listed as fire pit, when in fact what we're going to do is make our existing fire area ADA compliant, so that people can reach it now, otherwise we'd have to shut it down. Screening was listed as specific. Understanding is we can work with the state, and screening is screening, and we can adjust that around when it wasn't appropriate to change the exact title. Certainly that's the understanding of how we're proceeding. And then finally, the other addition was the water fountain, which at a $15,000 price we weren't going to do, but I believe for a much lower price we can actually attach something where we have a water spigot on the side of the Village Hall and be able to have a water fountain, something that I could do within my own authority, but I still have to get the state to pay half of it. And second, I don't want to be going around people. I'll let that be seen. And if it turns out that we can't do it as cheaply as my investigation has led me to believe, then I guess we can take it off, but I can't imagine the state will cancel the grant because we're not going to get $2,000, or in this case, I think it should be $1,000 water fountain out there. All that we've gone through with this, though, I did want to make sure that everybody on the board was aware of it, of those things that were slightly different than what we had specifically talked about, or where it could be misleading before I sign it, but I do need to sign and get that in. So let me throw it out or ask Mike, I see you have some highlighted areas, it looks like in the award. Did you have questions or?
I didn't have questions as much as I just wanted, there was a comment when I was reviewing it, that I wanted to make sure that Bruce was aware that the contracts for the improvement have to be, if this is a grant, if the grant advance payment is $250 or more, which I wasn't exactly sure whether that what the advance payment is, because it's not really specified what the advance payment is. So the advance payment is not just $250, I don't know, it's fine.
There will be a specific contract. I'd say a little more.
This is as Rossi's accept.
There's an issue with the neighbors who is running a full-time 7-day-a-week landscaping business by the name of Z. Balderas Landscaping. I'm not have a license to run a business in the village of Riverwoods.
Well, we don't have a requirement for business licensing except for a few.
Not with heavy machinery.
It would not, but the type of activity that you've described is not permitted in that area. We have been taken to administrative hearing and fined for that.
But they're still doing it.
Well, I understand, although I have had the police checking on that, and we were talking about it with council today about what else we might be able to do to try and stop them from doing.
Okay, because there was a meeting with yourself, with Inspector Rob, with Attorney Bruce last November. It's still going on. It's every single day.
Well, and
When someone pays $35,000 a year in taxes, you expect to be able to sleep in.
we understand that, as I say, the chief has had officers there trying to observe the activity. If you, I know you're coming on a noise complaint that you have made for next week.
But that's a fine. I mean, there's,
Well, we also said if they're making that much noise, then that would imply to me that they're still running the business at good time, so we have added that charge to it as well. We've instructed our prosecutor to ask for larger fines and talked with the area officer, and we're investigating what we might do as far as going to Waukegan to the circuit court to see what other things we
we
might
had
do.
photographs of workers showing up at 6 a.m. with their packed lunches, leaving their cars there the whole day,
Please
going out
note
to
that
work with their big trucks, which they start at 6 in the morning.
if you, and all I will say to you, I'm not arguing whether they're doing it, just make sure you call the police department dispatch chief would be the right number to call.
So I spoke with your mother just last week, we talked on the phone, and I said, you know, the building department handles this, but we're there 24/7. So if you observe evidence of them committing a violation, to call the non-emergency police number, which I gave to your mother, 847-945-1820, and to let us know if it's 6 in the morning. We've been watching, and then we'll send a car over and we'll document anything we see, give that to the Director of Community Development. Services, Rob Durning. And then Rob would cite as appropriate. And
So they should be calling them every single day?
yeah, anytime, and I told your mother this, anytime you see or hear a violation where you believe they're conducting a landscaping business out of there, if Rob's not available and he's not at 6 in the morning, call us, and my officers have all been instructed to to watch this house. I've had them out a few times between 6 and 7 watching, and they've only seen one truck leaving with one driver the days that we've been out. So maybe we're missing them, I don't know, but we've been watching, just.
Well, they have videos, they have.
I'm not doubting you, I'm just telling you the times that we've been out,
Mhm.
specifically watching. I've had officers sitting in Federal Life or across the street at the nursing home, and between 6 and 7. Now, they usually tend to leave at 5 to 7 because that's when they get off shift, and there's a shift change. So unless it's bad being 5 to 7, on those days that we were out there, they weren't doing it for whatever reason. I'm not saying that your picture's not accurate, I believe you. I'm just saying that we haven't observed it. But if we do observe it, or if your mother or your father want to call us, we'll come out and look, and anything that we observe, we'll try and take our own pictures, and we will give all that information over to Rob Jerry.
And just like your noise complaint, because they weren't making the noise when the officers were there, if you make the complaint and agree to come as a witness, we'll give them a citation every day or every time you call us out there. Because we want to stop them too, that's why we're trying to increase the fines on them, and we get their attention, and we're talking with council about going to Waukegan where we can get more remedies. It's not like we can just say stop and they necessarily stop. But we are trying to do things here.
There's also a secondary issue is with them running this business. They're constantly bringing dirt. They're bringing their dead trees that they dug up, which they cover with more dirt. Their site is about 2 feet elevated, 2 feet higher than their site. You know, they lived here for 20 plus years. They've never had flooding issues until now. So all the water is draining.
My engineer has gone out several times to try and check on this, and they've removed most of the dirt pad. I'll let you speak for what you found.
Piles of dirt. I mean, it's.
Look, I was actually just given those pictures today. I'm not sure when that picture was taken, so the pictures are sort of I'm sorry? So the pictures that you brought to the meeting that we had with Meadow Lake, where they had the whole, then I need to go back up. And
Well,
so-
Bob said that we didn't know. He said we talked to the engineer and he knows. So I don't know, somebody's lying.
No one's trying to encourage what Mr. Calder has going on there, so we'll get back out, and if there's more that went out, the pictures that you had brought
Well, what are you gonna do when the elevation is already there?
There is
What are you
already
gonna do about it?
2 feet all the way around it. There's a garage. There was a horse barn. Now they build an extra garage, and that they use as a repair shop.
On Sunday, they open the garages,
They
they
won't
repair
they won't
the
repair
equipment.
the shop.
Come on, we can't live like that. To pay so much in taxes and live like that. Why do we have to live like that?
And this is going on since last year,
No,
for
this
years.
is getting out of hand.
Rather than go through all the scene, I understand your frustration. I'll talk with the engineer again about these specific things and look, I assure you, we are trying to control this.
The
The
village
elevation,
cannot do nothing about it, I don't understand this.
well, it's not that we're not doing anything. The person has been brought in, they have been fined, they'll be here in 2 weeks for another fine.
If you bring them to the,
We can only stay within the law, and with these continued things, we're contemplating taking it to a higher court. We can issue higher, more effective and stronger orders, because it's, what we're doing obviously isn't accomplishing what we're all wanting. As far as the current elevations, I would have to talk with the engineer. We need to be able to establish what it was, how it was changed, et cetera. If we don't have things to work from, it's very difficult for us, but I'm certainly willing to look. We want to make sure that they're not doing, and if they have done something that is detrimental to your property, that we support you and try to help you get remedy. But please.
For example, they have the house directly next door, that they need to figure out what to do with. How are you gonna sell it when you're next door to a
I
landscape, full-time
understand,
landscaping
but I
business?
can't just simply issue orders to go out and,
How long would it take to get this to the next level? Because this has already been over 8 months and it's still at a standstill.
well, I would disagree
Well,
with
nothing
you.
is
Rather than
approved.
arguing, we were speaking this evening of what might be the most effective way to move forward. council, or are there any comments you might want to make at this point?
What's going to still be out of the village? This isn't really,
So what happens with people who are violators is that they have a way of concealing what they're doing. We know there's a bit of a cat and mouse game that goes on. We send people out to be able to see what's going on, bad data, what's going on. We tell them to move the door, to move the door, and just maybe 3 days later they bring more door down.
Your microphone went off.
I can't believe that. They just repaired the batteries. So, we had hoped that by bringing people to administrative court, where I think the fines we're asking for now, the daily fines, several $100 a day for every day violation, that would bring an end to it. But, and our main strategy right now is to have very heavy fines at the next hearing and see what that does. Otherwise, if we go to the volcano, the file complaint will have issues of proof, and I'm not sure that it would necessarily go any faster than the 8 months it's taken out. We've negotiated with a lot of homeowners with violations, and it does sometimes take time. They have lawyers, they ask for continuances, they can't show up in court on the day they're supposed to show up. So I share your frustration, but this is one of the 2 or 3 most active files that we have in terms of enforcement. To uncover what's happened historically with the elevations is something that we're investigating. It's very hard to prove a case to show what the elevation was. We have to find accurate records that go back to some point in time. We have to establish what happened. I don't know if there have been any changes on your side in 25 years. But as soon as we start looking, we see all kinds of things happening. So, we're looking at it.
I'm not sure they would be agreeable to you guys put a camera on their side of the lot, taping them 24/7. I'm sure they would be happy to cooperate just to get this resolved. I mean, if you need proof.
That may be, just think, if I'm having a police officer sit there with what they cost me to have.
No, just a
I'm
camera.
not speaking,
Not
I'm just
police
saying.
officers.
No, I know what you're saying, you're saying we having cameras. I'm only telling you, think about it, if we're having a police officer sit there and look, they're expensive and I'm taking them off for something else, so we are trying to help with you. I understand your frustration, but let's just say, A, we're not going to solve it tonight. B, we are working on this. We'll try to keep you advised as to what else we do.
Let me just ask one other question. So you can't ask if this microphone. Would you be available at the next court date that we have?
They're coming. You're going to be here Thursday, right? Yes. Okay.
Yes, let me reemphasize.
I want to ask you,
You're the witness.
why the village doesn't hire a lawyer? Why the village doesn't respond to a lawyer? When they send them a letter, they don't respond. Nobody responds from village to the lawyer. That's why whatever, she's my daughter, but the lawyer, they never respond to her. This is going on for months and months.
They have already taken a full-time lawyer, and their lawyer, Daniela, has written letters to the village.
She never
responded to.
So just, to put things in perspective, to work out the agreement to work out with you, I worked with Daniel for 8 months. To put things in
But
perspective.
she never sells any kind of receipt. She never
I'm just pointing out that when we work with opposing counsel on other sides, it takes a while. So, I have responded to her, I emailed and explained to her what our status was.
The status was she said that the neighbor has not cooperated with the village. I mean, is that the answer?
Well, that's,
The village is no solution.
no, it's not that we don't have a solution, but there are 4 lawyers on this board, all of them will tell you the things that happen overnight with these things. It's one of the reasons we've taken them to admin court, that goes faster. And they've been hit with several $1,000s worth of fines, but obviously that hasn't been enough. Those people, when they're fined, stop doing something. So this is one we have to get back to. We haven't stopped, we're still working on it. So please
$2,000 in
understand.
fines is cheaper than renting a garage.
Well,
It's not
that's
enough.
probably the problem, as someone said in our meetings, we haven't hit them hard enough yet. That's why we're asking for the daily fines, which will come to a much higher number. And I've instructed the prosecutor to seek the maximum they can at these. So, yes, I understand that they're supposed to be here for this, when we have the hearing next week. And hopefully with that, between the noise and doing business and getting the larger fines, that may get their attention and they'll stop. But we are continuing to monitor. I had the engineer go out on their property and yours, so it's not that we're ignoring it. This is something that it's not just wishing it away. I wouldn't be going through these efforts nor with everyone else if we didn't want to try and help you with your problem.
The problem is the lack of communication. They don't see or
They
hear anything.
may not be getting all of the information back, and we will work harder to let you know more of what's happening. But I also have the feeling that as long as you're continuing to be bothered by a noisy neighbor, the communication isn't going to make you happy. You want them to stop doing the business next door. That's what's going to make you happy. So that's the bottom line, and we are working for that. We will try to improve. All right, so please recognize that it's not being ignored. They are being brought all the time. I know council has problems here lawyer, because we keep being told we're going to be sued and everything else, which she can write those letters if she listens to, and we don't have it ignored. I'm sure we will do that. So please understand, and I recognize that you're not satisfied with what's occurred, but we're tightening the screws and trying to make it more painful for them, trying to get them to comply and do what they're supposed to do. Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to address the board? Do I have a motion for approval of bills? Do I have a second?
Second.
All right. Questions or discussion? Hearing none, roll call please.
Trustee Chamberlain?
Aye.
Trustee Blake? Aye. Trustee Goldstein? Trustee Haber? Trustee Callender? Aye. Trustee Chambers?
Aye.
All right, thank you. Moving on to new business. The first item on the agenda is the Center for Rich Living. We'd like to come before the board and request reconsideration of the earlier decision not to give a donation this year, or the alternative, if it's not appropriate, to make an exception to policy. You saw the memo that I wrote, which indicated something in the background. Something I discovered is that both the Center for Rich Living and NSSRA are, way back up. The NSSRA is a voluntary membership on our part. I thought we were required to go along, but since we don't have a park district, we don't provide recreation services to able-bodied children, whatever the appropriate phrase is, we have no obligation to belong to NSSRA. While Woodview Park District and Deerfield Park District, etc., do have to belong in order to provide equal services. That being the case, we determined that NSSRA is a voluntary membership on our part. They serve a very similar mission to the Center for Rich Living, and I feel like we need to take a look at this second. We do have village residents who are helped by the services that are provided by CEL. Obviously, no one is saying that CEL is not a worthwhile organization. We do great work. I think we've always said that, and I think if I asked the board, everyone here would say that. The question was how it fit within our new policy to get out of the charitable donation business. In retrospect, I wish I'd looked a little closer and said more at the meeting when we talked about the change in policy. Because now that I'm more aware, I think CDL would still be eligible under our criteria. But I will get back to the board to decide. But Harry Levy from the Senate is here, and I believe she would like to address the board. Harry? Yes.
Thank you for having me come tonight, and I'm always very proud to talk about the Center for Rich Living. And as I was thinking about coming and talking to you, I realized 19 years ago today, we opened our building in Riverwoods at 280 Saunders Road. And I also know that since we moved here in 2000, we have been supported by the Village of Riverwoods, especially continuously, consistently for the last 13 years. So we were very surprised when we heard that we weren't being considered, and I really asked the board to reconsider. We are an organization that is supported primarily through donations. 30% of our operating income is earned income. 70% of our $3.5 million budget is supported through donations like the ones that we got from the Village of Riverwoods. We have been getting $5,000 every year. We do not take that money for granted. We put that money to good use. We are very similar to NSSRA, but we're also very different. We do a lot around employment. We just started an employment program 3 years ago. We work with area businesses, so individuals with developmental disabilities are out there in the community, working in the community. It's very important for our members to be in the community and be of and part of the community. We also have continued learning long after school ends. We have a day program, which Scotty is part of, and we have a partner day program with NSSRA called Enriched Lifestyles for Adults. We started that one 13 years ago, so we're very closely associated with NSSRA. But in our day programs, adults 22 years and older, when they get out of school on their 22nd birthday, the bottom drops out of their lives. Learning stops, social engagement stops, community engagement stops, and we have about 30 people a day, 35 people a day, including Scotty, in our Reach for Success Day program where he continues learning, he continues with social engagement. He's out in the community 70% of the time, and an equal valued and contributing member of the community. That is our vision, and that's what we embrace every single day at the center. So I really implore you to reconsider. Those dollars are very important. They're not important to me, they're important to our members. And that's who we are here to help, and that's who we're here to support, being part of this community and being part of the Center for Enriched Living. I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have for us, for me.
Questions from the board? Cheryl, you were up here.
So one of the things that I wanted you to know, the main, if not only reason that the donation changed was because the board had discussion after we lost a big revenue source. So it didn't have anything to do with you in particular. It had to do with revenue that the village was getting. And then, so first I just want to make sure that I have my facts correct. I know that both the Ella and Reach programs are in your facility. My understanding is, so the NSSRA provides services to its member agencies, and the Ella program is actually administered by the NSSRA.
Yes.
And Ella then pays you, I think, for leasing the space?
They offset some of the expenses. It doesn't cover the full cost. Both NSSRA, it's a different partnership. Our partnership is, it's administered through NSSRA. They hire staff, they train staff, because it reflects their mission, which is social recreation. We help them by hosting them in our building, which at that time was pretty new, and by fundraising for the program.
Right.
We do a family campaign, and we raised this past year about $70,000 just, and it goes directly to the Ella program. The center gets, it's just we're a pass-through. So that money goes right to NSSRA.
Right, and I know Ella is, not, I know Ella receives essentially services in kind from NSSRA, but it's a separate arm. So
It could get very confusing.
I know, that's why I wanted to clarify. And then, I guess one of my questions would be, if you were to receive a donation, the NSSRA, unlike the NSSRA programs, which benefit the partner agencies, I mean, your programs are, you do absolutely have Riverwoods residents, but it's open to everyone. If you receive funds from the village, is there any way for that money to directly benefit our resident, or does it just go into the general coffers?
It would go into the general coffers, but certainly benefit the Riverwoods residents. I mean, it enriches the program. It goes towards our programming, towards our staffing and running the program. So it really goes towards our direct service, which provides a benefit to anybody from Riverwoods who would be coming to the organization. Most of our members are low income, so we provide over $100,000 in scholarships every year. We're also volunteer driven. My boss is my board of directors. They're the ones who govern me, and we have about 200 volunteers that participate in our work in programs, work in our office, work at our events throughout the year. So,
Any other questions?
I'd like to make a motion that we reconsider the granting of the amount requested of $5,500 to CEL, and I'd like to make this comment. We recently authorized the board, not me, but the board, authorized spending in excess of $300,000 on providing services to the general population in connection with the village campus plan, which I think is generally going to be utilized more by non-disabled adults. We don't have a park district in this village. We should be very cognizant of the fact that we do have disabled adults in this village, and we should do everything that we can to provide services to them. And I think the request of $5,500 is really, really minor. We've supported this organization since its inception. It's a village resident, and I think that we should definitely take that donation. Second.
Okay, any comments? Any other comments from the board? Comments from the public? Yes, Al?
First of all, Scotty came tonight because my wife went to movie night. I did not bring him here.
Got a shield?
He's not that smart. But I've lived in Riverwoods for 27 years. Scotty, like Harriet said, at his 22nd birthday, we had no options. And CEL is probably the most unique place. And you can look all over the suburban areas. You won't find anything like it. And as far as living here and being proud of the village and the things that we do for the residents here, I can't think of a better attribute that we have than CEL being in the community. Of course, I'm prejudiced and I'm partisan towards it, but I'm also objective because we have looked around. We've looked at other facilities, we've studied them, and he's been there he's going to be 30 years old. And again, there's no place like it. And I know not only I appreciate it, but other members, other people that have there, to have it as Riverwoods is their home base. It means a lot to the village. And yes, I do know the finances, and I do know the significance of this amount. And I just think I'm glad that it's brought up as a motion to reconsider and support it.
Any other comments from the public? Any other comments from the board?
I just wanted to thank Harry for coming here. Being in the philanthropic business myself, I I'm proud that you came here after you got your first no. Because usually you get more than one no before you get a yes. I appreciate it.
All I can say is in 19 years, when we first moved here, we were so welcomed by the community. And I'll never forget that, and nor will our board. So we really value the support and input from the Village of River Woods.
Well, as I said earlier, I lived in Deerfield when we were in Woodland School.
That's right.
And I can't believe what my mom was talking. It sounded like we probably had a scene at home or something. When the people were so upset that it was rather remarkable. I'm very proud of the people of Riverwoods and how much better they reacted. Carolyn, you had it?
So I want to make it clear that I think this is a wonderful organization, and my only hesitation has to do with how much we have in public funds and how we spend our public funds. I also I know that there are other places that we have given money to regularly in the past, and we had talked about perhaps changing that budget amount, and maybe that's the more appropriate way to do it, because I think it's difficult. It's kind of like with there's so many great organizations, really you'd like to be able to give to all of them, and you'd like to give them a lot of money, and I know we have this same difficulty in our own household. So we set a particular budget. So maybe we can help ourselves deal with this issue by re-examining the budget we have for this, and then figure out how many different groups we are interested in looking at, and essentially divvying up the money that way. So I think it's going to turn out that it'll be a little less than what the motion is, and so I would entertain an amount that is somewhat less than that. So I am proposing it, and